there anything that Mark Ronson can't do? Because oh my goodness me, I absolutely love that. And oh my goodness me, can you imagine? It's actually incredibly difficult. I challenge you to go. Kia ora, my name's Stibi and I'm your vocal coach for today because we're going to be taking a look at Mark Ronson performing live at the Brits with Ghostface Killah and Dua Lipa. I have not heard this song before, so I'm very, very excited to see this performance. I am going to help you understand what is going on with their vocal technique. How are they creating these incredible sounds? And most importantly, how can you create them so that you can sound like this in the comfort of your own home? So if you want to learn more about vocal technique, hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you around here more often. Let's just get straight to it. Yay!
Yo, what's going on? Y'all make some noise. Yo, yeah, yo, winter night, New York City. Heard it going down. Friday night, big night, Atlantic City. Slash machines, ding, 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 ding. When they ring on, lock the doors. That's when Ghost is G'd up. Shook night cigars, Paisley.
Oh my goodness me. Honestly, firstly, is there anything that Mark Ronson can't do? Because I feel like the man is a musical savant, not only in his songwriting, but also like in all the instruments that he plays. He's just absolutely incredible. And he's a DJ as well. Like, this is amazing. So obviously I'm not a rap teacher, but we're just going to watch this again because I'm going to help you understand what you can do with these fabulous muscles in order to get this like impeccable articulation like we're hearing here.
Yo, yeah, yo, winter night, New York City. Heard it going down. Friday night, big night, Atlantic City. Slash machines, ding, 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 ding. When they ring on, lock the doors. That's when Ghost is G'd up. Shook night cigars, Paisley Rose. 4 chicks guarded me safely as we walked to the window. Cashier was scared, she asked for my info. Manager arrived with 5 guys, that's an intro. That's the code, Mr. Coles. Talking about $5 million here. This ain't Play-Doh, though. And your horoscope, Reggie.
There is so much going on in this, and rap is actually incredibly difficult. I challenge you to go ding, 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 and have it actually be understandable because this is all about building up the muscles of the tongue and the other articulators, which are the teeth, obviously. We can't do much about that, but we can build up the muscles of the lips as well. They are part of the articulators. So one of my favorite exercises is called the tongue cave. You might have seen this around on the internet with Dr. Mew, but what you're going to do is to suck the tongue to the top of the mouth. And you're going to try that for 10 seconds, 3 times a day in order to build up the muscles of the tongue. Now that way, when you're building up those muscles, it's going to make it much easier to make these super quick movements. Let's just take another look at his breath control in this section.
The Coles talking about $5 million here. This ain't Play-Doh, though. And your horoscope, Reggie, gonna slay those hoes. Got scribbled Anthony Acid, rocking the show. Special guest star Mark Ronson. First 500 wizards went crazy when they let they arms in it. All they did was plug me in. Got the charge and got they bras and ran through they whole department. Come on, come on.
Can you hear those really, really long phrases? Now, regardless of whether Ghostface Killah has decided to work on his breath control, there would have been a sense of actually practicing and not running out of breath or where he was going to particularly breathe in order to be able to sustain that sentence. And that's all about what we call a recoil breath in singing. So there's lots and lots of different ways to breathe, and we can see there there is a short, sharp, high breath. But what we're really training is how quickly we're able to breathe in. So I really like to do an exercise where I get students to breathe all of their air out, like right to the end of the breath, and then we just open the mouth and we feel that breath be dropped in. And what we're doing there is we're training this idea of getting maximum amount of air with the shortest amount of time possible and without us actively going, oh God, That's not what I suggest. We're wanting to make it as quick as possible, like what Ghostface Killer is doing here. Let's just go back on that and you'll see these really, really tiny breaths. So yes, the exercise was about taking on a really big breath. Now that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to breathing, because there are completely different styles of breathing for all different styles of music and what you're actually trying to achieve. And that is why there is an entire course inside my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, all about breathing, because it is so finessed and it really is about making sure that we're looking at it on an individual basis. So you can check out the link in the description below for more information about that. Let's just go back on that because this is just such great control here.
Got scribbled Anthony Acid, rocking the show. Special guest stars Mark Ronson. First 500 wizards went crazy when they let they arms in it. All they did was plug me in. Got the charge and got they bras and ran through their whole department. Come on, come on. Make some noise, y'all. What's going on? Yeah.
Mark Ronson. He comes from jazz and hip hop like me. And that's what we know. And we can set that aside and be like, cool, we've got that under the thumb. And when I played him all that stuff, he was just like, cool, right.
Oh gosh, she's just amazing. My goodness me. So the way we're hearing there's, look, I am not a rap teacher by any means, but there are similarities in rap to what we call patter songs in musical theater, where there is a very fast paced of almost spoken on pitch. So the way that we would approach that is firstly, definitely about strengthening those articulators, like that tongue cave exercise I took you through. But what we're also working on is the speed at which we're able to move the muscles. So firstly, you have to strengthen the muscles, but then it is about doing exercises to strengthen the contact between, say, the lips and the lips against themselves, or for example, the tongue against the teeth. Now, obviously, I've got a little bit of a lisp because of my retainers at the moment, but I want you to try an exercise that I love to do. It's called minigabidigapitika, minigabidigapitika. And that way we're building up the lips, the tongue against the hard palate, and then the back of the mouth. So minigabidigapitika, minigabidigapitika, minigabidigapitika. And when we're doing those exercises, minigabidigapitika, 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 we are strengthening those muscles as well as working on the speed. Okay, so give that a go and let me know down in the comments how you get on. It did take me a couple of years to get to that speed, but I really do recommend to start really, really slowly, because just doing like random beep, 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 and all that sort of shit is just, it's not going to help you to really like strengthen and speed up your articulation. Let's just go back on that.
I played him all that stuff. He was just like, cool, right. We only said goodbye with words. I died 100 times. You go back to her and I go back to her. We only said goodbye with words. I died 100 times. You go back to her and I go back to black.
Wow, Amy Winehouse, my goodness me, rest her soul. She was an amazing musician, and we're just so blessed that we've got so many recordings of her music as well. Did you notice there were so many things to notice there with Amy, even just in that little tiny screen. But did you notice the way that her lips kind of came a little bit forward? He only said goodbye with words. Now, we talked about articulation with Ghostface Killer. I wanted to call him Stoneface Killer. I don't know why. With Ghostface Killer there at the beginning. But we've got almost like the opposite. Amy has strengthened the muscles so we understand what she's saying, but we've got almost like this relaxed bit going on. And with those lips coming forward and with the tongue almost going sort of flaccid within the mouth, we're getting that sort of like that sound that Amy created. He only said goodbye with words, and that darkening of the tone that's being created there. A lot of accent has actually to do with the tongue position. So we're thinking about dropping it down a little bit back and down and bringing the lips forward. I'm not trying to make fun of Amy. This is just how I would speak if I was to do what I would say to you to do in an actual lesson to help you create that kind of sound. I'm not saying you to copy Amy, but I'm saying you can create that type of sort of more cursive singing. I died 100 times. Bringing lips forward is also going to darken that tone. Let's just watch that. I want you to see. I'm overdoing it, okay, because this is not the way that I would normally sing. Watch Amy's lip position.
Died 100 times. You go back to her and I go back to black.
To celebrate Amy tonight, we have the legendary band who brought her songs to life, the Dap Kings, and two singers who stood by Amy on stage so many nights, Alan and Ade. But most of all, tonight, we want you to sing along. Manchester, let's go.
Since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. I want to come on over and stop making a fool out of me. Sing! Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie.
Wow. I am so, like, it makes my heart sing to see that, you know, they're honoring their music, but also just, you know, highlighting Amy in that way. She was such a, she just touched all of our hearts in the music world. And I know that, you know, she's left such a legacy of her own music, even for such a short amount of time that she was actually performing. Amy has this very distinctive sound. So as soon as you hear it, you're like, ah, that's Amy Winehouse. And that's what I always want for every single singer. That's what I want for you. I want you to sound like you, but like with better techniques so that you know how to make these sorts of sounds. And we know that Amy was really fastidious about practicing, whether that was in singing lessons or not. She was very, very particular about creating the sound that she wanted to create. And we've got that kind of almost that little bit of twang coming in there. I personally believe that it's a little bit to do with her own natural setup of her accent. But we've got that slight twang, which is the squeezing of the area above the larynx. That, why don't you come on over, Valerie? It's like that brightness to the sound. Obviously, I don't sound like her. I would never try and sing the song like she sings it. But that twang is going to increase the volume and also to help us to get thickness into the vocal folds when we're singing higher in the range. And that's why it cuts through when you try and do twang, especially in this song. And just kind of has to be done, I feel like. My goodness me, I absolutely love that. And of course, Uptown Funk was just such an iconic song. I love it. And obviously, I didn't realize there was going to be like this little singing when I started watching this video. Obviously, I don't often watch I've never seen a lot of these performances. So did you notice though that at the end, I'm saying, did you notice? How are you meant to notice? Maybe you did notice that the background singer who was part of Amy's band, that he went to another harmony. But did you hear how well he matched his sound with Amy's? Now, when he was singing sort of like these little throwaway sentences by himself, we'd be hearing a little bit more of his own sound. But when he then sang the harmony with Amy, I'm going to go back and show you just that little section. We won't watch the whole instrumental again, but I want you to listen to the way that he's changing the tone. And that's what we want to do when we are singing with others. We want to just slightly change our sound so that it is a little bit lighter and it matches the other singer. And that's often about changing the vowel, changing the quality of the sound, changing the timbre, and often also about the lip positions or the tongue position. So let's just watch that again because I really like that. Did you hear that? Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Or whatever he's saying. And so we heard that slight timbre change, a little bit more air being introduced to the sound there, and just kind of backing off as well in terms of the mix. So, you know, this is our first port of call for mixing. Well, like, we are the first port of call as pops or as contemporary singers, and we need to make sure that what's going into the microphone is also what, you know, makes it a bit easier for the audio engineer. Let's just skip through this little instrumental section. We get to Dua Lipa.
Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance, dance the night away. I still keep the party running on at a place when my heart breaks, when my world shakes. I don't play safe, don't you know about me? I could dance, I could dance, I could dance. Dance the night, dance the night.
Oh my goodness me, can you imagine? Maybe she's been standing up there like until the, wow, Dua Lipa's amazing. I do not like to talk about whether singers are soprano, alto, tenor. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. But what often happens is I get singers saying, oh, I'm an alto because I can't really sing very high. I want to say that Dua Lipa is she's a very, very good version of a mezzo-soprano or even an alto voice. Now, it's only really important if you're going to be singing in a choir situation, but I want you to listen to her timbre. She's got a decidedly darker timbre when she's singing, and she also has that timbre when she's speaking, and that's showing us that alto coming through. So people who speak like me and then they sing like that, they are not altos, okay? Because altos have a slightly larger larynx, and that's what causes that darker timbre. They're not just lowering their larynx for it. Let's just go back on that.
Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance, dance the night away. I still keep the party running on at a place when my heart breaks, when my world shakes.
Can you hear that? When my heart breaks. You know, she's got this, she's got a beautiful voice anyway, but she's got this like darker tone going on to the sound. It sounds lower than it actually is, and that's kind of a real telltale sign of either a lowered larynx or an alto, but we do know when she speaks, she has that darker timbre. So watch me dance. She goes up into the falsetto there and coming back down into more of a chest quality. Dance the night away. And then when she goes higher, my heart can't be burning, but she introduces the twang, which can help to close the vocal folds as you go further up in the range if you're wanting to stay in the chest voice. It doesn't have to though, but it can.
Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance, dance the night away. I still keep the party running on at a place when my heart breaks.
Can you hear? I still keep the party running on one hair out of place. That's the twang. You can almost hear, it sounds like there's a little bit of pressure inside the throat. Now, twang it's like a squeezing of the area above the larynx. And what we're doing there is, as I said, we're helping to close the vocal folds, but we're also boosting the frequencies that we hear best. So twang automatically makes the sound a little bit louder, but it also helps us. Now, this is in speech level singing. They do talk about using twang in order to go higher in the range. You don't have to use twang to go higher in the range, okay? You can also bring the vocal folds together without using twang. It just can help, and it's a stylistic decision, okay?
The party running on at a place when my heart breaks, when my world shakes. I don't play safe, don't you know about me? I could dance, I could dance, I could dance. Dance the night, dance the night, dance the night.
So we're we've got that I could dance. We've got that little bit of twang as well. I could dance, I could dance. Oh my goodness me. That would not work for anyone except a lower voice quality or someone who had a darker timbre like a mezzo soprano or an alto. Otherwise, I'm like a high soprano. So I could dance, I could dance. It just makes the sound a little bit brighter. But with her, we are hearing that increase in the pressure, kind of making the sound a little bit louder. We're just going to watch that one more time because I love Dua, and also this is kind of the first bit of like singing that we've had live. I want you to watch now her lip position. Now, what I was saying about Amy and the way that it kind of translates into what Dua's doing here.
When my heart breaks, when my world shakes, I don't play safe. Don't you know about me? I could dance, I could dance, I could dance.
You notice that? When my world shakes, don't you worry about me. Now, she's not doing it as much as what I'm just doing in this moment, but there is something to be said about the bringing the lips forward. We do know there's like some weird thing that happens in singers that when the lips are brought forward, the soft palate will automatically go up, although the lips and the soft palate are not joined whatsoever. It's just this kind of like wonderful phenomenon. Try it out and see what happens, because I've noticed in my own studio that singers have experienced a lot less vocal fatigue, and they're like able to sing much, much higher without as much strain when they do bring the lips forward. It feels odd in the beginning. But the lips is an entire course all in itself, and that's why inside the Vocal Academy, you can check out the link in the description below for more information about that. We actually coach you specifically on like the lip position in regards to the tone and the timbre that you're trying to create. So there's some situations where bringing the lips forward would work, and there's some situations where we would want a little bit more of a spread lip. There's no like one rule to rule them all when it comes to singing. It is really about the nuances of the technique, and it's really based on every single singer, and that's why it's so important to get that one-to-one feedback, and that's what we coach you on as well. None of this like buy this course for $27. You're not going to learn to sing like that.
Falling into you, baby. Even electricity can't compare to what I feel when I'm with you. Oh, baby. Giving up my ghost for you, and now I'm seeing through. You give me a feeling so strong. I know you've been treating yourself wrong. So let me care for you. Ooh, baby, I'ma love you differently. I'll give you electricity, give it to you. Even if I could, I wouldn't turn on you.
Okay, I'm trying to listen to this, but I can't get over the fact that it sounds a little bit like a little bit nasal, and we've got a little bit of the tightening going on at the back of the pharynx there. I'm giving it all to you. And again, I'm not making fun of Dua in any way, shape, or form, although it obviously sounds like it. Someone actually commented the other day, one of my singing teacher colleagues, and said like, "Oh, Zoe, I don't like the way that you pull apart people's technique." I want you to know that anyone that I look at on this channel, I hold in the utmost respect. And I think Dua Lipa is like the most incredible singer, and she deserves all the success in the world. And these are just sounds, and these are just things that we're playing with, and the sounds might work for you and the sounds might not work for you. We copy as humans. That's how we learn to speak. That's how we learn to walk. That's how we learn facial expression. We copy because we are, I'd like to say that we copy singers out of the utmost respect. We are learning from them. We are copying them to know what they are doing, to learn their sounds, and then to turn them into our own versions. Really, that's all any art form is, right? It's an interpretation of other art that's come before us. And that's really what I want to teach you to do. I want you to know what's going on with her voice, and maybe what's working and what's like what you can do with your own sort of sound. So I just kind of need to hop up on my soapbox there for a second there, because I thought, I don't want you to ever think that I'm making fun of a singer. Like, never, ever, ever in a million years. Only the utmost respect for every single singer on this planet.
Falling into you, baby. Even electricity can't compare to what
you hear that? Hey, when the electricity, burning you and me. That can sometimes happen when we're trying to get a little bit too loud, lower in the range, because we need a little bit of that twang and a slight like tongue tension going on in order to create a bigger sound. Engaging the tongue root is actually going to it's going to darken our sound, but it's also going to help us to create more volume. Can't remember why. I'll need to look it up in my textbooks again.
Even electricity compared to what I feel when I'm with you. Oh, baby. Giving up my ghost for you, and now I'm seeing through. You give me a...
Can you hear that? Now I'm seeing through. It's kind of, and again, there was a little bit of an out of tune note. That can sometimes happen. We're taking the larynx too low for the particular note. So we're just, when we're taking the larynx lower, it can just pull the pitch out of tune there. Again, it happens to all of us. I love that we can hear that in this performance, though, to show you like even Dua Lipa flubs a note. And did we care? No.
My ghost for you, and now I'm seeing through. You give me a feeling so strong. I know you've been treating yourself wrong. So let me care for you. Ooh, baby, I'ma love you differently. I'll give you electricity, give it to you. Even if I could, I wouldn't turn on you. And I was out the road for you, you know. I wanna let you know I'll never let this feeling go. This love has no ceiling. I cannot deny it. Even if I could, I wanna turn on you. And I was out the road for you, and I wanna let you know.
Can you hear that? I don't want to let you go. That's also something that famously Cher does quite a lot. Actually, there's quite a lot of singers that do that. That's a little bit of the tongue root going on there. Now, it doesn't have to create that kind of like a it's almost like, I don't know, I don't want to say it, like a bit of a squashed sound slightly. I don't want to let you go. It just sounds like in that moment there's also a bit of the soft palate going down. The soft palate is the door to the nose, and so when we drop it, it sounds a little bit nasalized without it actually, well, it is nasalized. But it also just takes I just have to laugh at myself in that second, sorry. But it also just takes a little bit of the, what the fuck am I getting at here, Zoe? Sometimes I get on a track and then I'm just like, whew, squirrel. It takes away a little bit of the power of the note. That's what I was looking for. I absolutely love that. So we've got that. Is I don't really let you go. It's also, you know, it was really, she's probably just copying it as well, but it can also be just that it falls in that part of her range. It's really important to make sure that we have songs. And again, like, who the fuck am I? It's Dua Lipa. She can sing songs in whatever range she wants. Like, she's got her music producers, you know, whatever. But that's why it's important to choose songs that fit your range, not just go and sing something else just because you think it's the original key. Singers will sing songs in different keys according to the, you know, how they're feeling, what it's like at their age, all sorts of things. So changing the key is really important to make sure that it fits the part of your voice that you're wanting to like bring out.
Let's go! BRITS 2026, Manchester, make some noise for the one and only Mr. Mark Ronson. Let's hear it! Hey, 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 hey.
That is so fantastic. I absolutely love that because that's what it's about, right? It's all about having fun in the end. Such a fantastic like show of like a whole, like so many years worth of work as well. And like, oh, wow. I absolutely love that. And I'm a bit of a sucker for like a brass band, I have to say. Like a big band, I'd watch any cover if it was with a big band, honestly. Love it. If you want to learn more about any of the techniques that I've talked about in this video, we're talking about really high level vocalization, but that doesn't mean to say that you can't learn how to do it, because it is really about learning exactly what you need to practice and how you need to practice it. Because that's what I'm finding is really missing here on YouTube is it's a whole bunch of singers and not a lot of actual teachers of singing. And that's where I come in. I've been a vocal coach for the past 18 years. I'm also a professional singer. But what I'm really, really good at is showing you exactly step by step how to learn to sing. Because I'm not gonna lie. I had singing lessons for a good 15 years there. And like, no fucking teacher ever taught me how to actually sing until I discovered about how to break things down. And I started working with Esther voice training. And that is the way that I have learned how to really break things down step by step. And that's what we're going to do for you inside the Vocal Academy. You can check out the link in the description below to apply, because we do have some spaces available with our fabulous teachers inside the Academy. You can check out some more Dua Lipa up here, and I'll see you around next time. Just remember, there are so few people that watch my videos that are subscribed to the channel, so do me a huge favor and subscribe. It really does help me to help more singers like yourself. Have an awesome rest of the day. Happy singing! Anyone can learn to sing! Ka kite anō.